Now I'd like to talk about how it can be an incredibly fun and interesting activity to experience the counterbalancing of polarities within your awareness and to play with them and navigate them in your communication and to see how beyond all of these true self is when you start to think that you are just this self behind the facing the world from this single spatial location, from you know the single location where I am. If I were to say that the whole world is outside of me, then I'm forgetting the back and forth. So I may think that maybe everything that I'm thinking in my head is not experienced by the world around me, and I will try to communicate things as if they exist in my head first and then for other people, which is to me not accurate because um, from the way I see it is that there is no thought in my head at all, and the experience of thought is the whole universe. And why do you need to look in here to understand? And so if I'm talking right now, I don't think that there's anything going on in my head because I'm connected to everything. And so the branches of neurons and things, they nowhere, only in your mind. So you have created a dream. So where is the fun then? Where's the fun in considering alternate ideas? Well, one point I have found is that usually the fun comes from taking out things rather than putting them in or giving them some kind of meaning. If you give something meaning, it will pull you behind. If you're, let's say, walking on a path and you see something on the ground that interests you, yes, it may be helpful if you're hungry, if you need nourishment, and if you know that it's being cold, the attraction is a great attraction. Then you will know that it's maybe because there is something that it is fulfilling in you that is always naturally inherent within you, and you're just experiencing its manifestation in your environment. That's one of the aspects. But in general, that happens through an unfolding of a deeper connection in yourself. What does that mean, what I'm saying right now? It just means that as you learn to experience more what is happening deep within, and this is not meditation, this is just knowledge. It's a form of knowledge that can be experienced through various practices and readings and nature, anything. It's always present. So when this happens, then the separation between ideas of ourself is anything other than absolute eternal consciousness are false. And such, that means your perception will always be a part of you, directly related to you. And so, from here, you will recognize that you have agency in this environment. And from your recognition of agency, there will be tools available to you. But in general, you're not seeking for those tools. You are gathering them along the way as they are needed, not because you desire them, not because you feel like you're lacking anything in yourself. If you feel like you are lacking something, enter deeper, and you'll see that the lack will be neutralized by an unbiased perspective. When this perspective is gained, then all fluctuations and duality of any kind will dissipate. How is this taking out things? Well, simply what I mean by this is that any type of judgment you thought it was possible, is any of these kinds of judgments based on I have this or I don't have this, which are all based on temporary experiences and identities, such as I am this body, I am Danny. Any of these will then mean that then anything that is not Danny or this body is not a connected, relevant aspect to the perceiving awareness. And as such, discrimination takes place. This kind of discrimination is purely inaccurate and not necessary for one to function effectively in the world, because survival needs are met without discrimination. So don't worry, your body will stay alive. As long as you listen to this deeper awareness, you will actually be reaching into a part of you that is even further close to your source and safety in this world, because also survival mechanisms are flawed. And no matter what, the deeper intelligence within you will allow the universe to continue to function effectively, as God's presence working in the world is always necessary for things to remain stable. Without the presence of God, things would simply not continue. So recognize that you coming closer to this presence allows you to remember your true source, security and safety, and also a source of contribution in the world, which may begin from your own individual life and then extend outwards out to other people. This way, such knowledge will be extended from you to others in the world. So what is the purpose of all of this? It is to create a freedom, lightheartedness, where the things you now need are no longer temporary, binding forces or identities or objects of the external world, but rather it is something never changing, which of course will along the way create experiences of physical nature in the transient world, but always confirming and re-establishing the presence. The presence. What is this presence? What I mean by this is the formless reality which you are connected to, but that does not exist in the intellect. Yet it can be experienced in the world of space and time. What? What can be experienced? Oh, what I mean by this is not something you need to be worried about, because here we are learning to unburden ourselves of the suffering of the world. We're not learning to add anything new to our lives, which is why I said that you are cutting things out here. And I think it's much more graceful, freeing to learn to cut things away than it is to add things on. You may need to communicate what you're recognizing at some point in your life, because that will be part of your service. So don't fear that cutting away doesn't mean cutting away your ability to express yourself. It may be that for a period of time your self-expression may be limited to your own inner discovery. Still, the lack of binding chains from the world, and the greater freedom to expand into the universe above and below the physical reality and to delve into your discovery of it is so freeing. So please take advantage of this while you can, because maybe others won't have the opportunity you have. So do follow this, as it is important for all of us. You in the physical universe, and myself, and also the ones beyond. They watch over this world, and they know what we are in for, and they want us to do our best. And we also want to minimize our own suffering just as they do. They feel our suffering, and they want us to minimize it, and we want to minimize it, to share the knowledge that they know of from beyond, and to bring it into the world. We all want this, so why don't we do this? Why don't we follow this? We're afraid of following something we don't know. We're so used to following things we think we know, and so we don't make it. I hope to make it. But right now, from the progress I can see, I am trying. Everything happens, and I connect. I have a lot to say, and it's all for the progress of liberation. It needs to be structured, however, because here I don't want to be aggressive with what my teachings are. I just want to share. It's all structured because in the end there is a certain order to things, and as such the spirit may need to adapt itself to the order in order to enter the physical reality. So that's what I'm doing. Learning to think and function effectively and not to be trapped by the bounds of my culture and society. Bringing my preferences and all these things. I want to look at things clearly. I am an entity which still requires the use of intellect in order to function effectively and joke around with humans. Other than that, there's not much really. But I also need to function effectively physically in the body. So for that I need a healthy emotional and mental intelligence. Otherwise I would go crazy and nothing would come through me. So I'm in a fragile reality, adapting myself to bring something into the world. What a gift, what a blessing. God's the savior of us all, but we must save ourselves first and connect to knowledge within ourselves in order to recognize the reality of the greater community, intelligent life in the universe, our position within it, and our role to play in the great unfolding of the human family through its transition in this powerful time in human history. May the blessing be with us. May we pray for the unseen ones to provide us with the knowledge required to undertake the great turning point of humanity's development with success, not failure, freedom, not uncertainty, certainty, knowledge, faith, purpose, relationship. May the blessing be with us. Nasi Novare Koram. The presence of the teachers of God is with us.